Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Look, man, this whole thing with rhabdomyolysis, right? That's the thing about just following sports, and you get to learn about different things. Now, this disease is something that has piqued my interest, and I actually went today and did a little bit of research on it. But once I did the video I did earlier about this rhabdomyolysis and Virgil Ortiz, right? I didn't think much more about it. I went to my son's track meet, came back, all the boys in the bed sleeping out, and I said, let me come down here, turn off the lights. So I get on the computer and I hear Blair Cobb. I see a video of Blair Cobb, again, talking about this rhabdomyolysis, but he's not saying any names because he learned from that cease and desist and that potential lawsuit he was going to get. But he's still talking about it because obviously he feels a strong way. But he's smart enough not to say any names. So I'm going to play the video, right? And then we're going to talk a little bit about it because I think we all need to understand kind of what a little bit more about it because it's interesting to me. I find it intriguing and I want to know more. So now I'm out here digging. But let's listen to old Blair the Flair and we'll go from there.
The funny thing about rhabdomyolysis, right?
Start over.
The funny thing about rhabdomyolysis, right? And when it comes to performance enhancement drugs, is that the moment you get rhabdomyolysis from performance enhancement drugs, the moment you do it again, moment you try to take those drugs again, it comes back almost immediately. Just a thought. But that's none of my business. The funny thing about rhabdomyolysis, right? And when it comes to performance enhancement drugs, is that the moment you get rhabdomyolysis from performance enhancement drugs, the moment you do it again, moment you try to take those drugs again, it comes back almost immediately. Just a thought. But that's none of my business.
Okay, I'll tell you guys right now, right? I'm not a doctor. I'm not in the medical profession. I'm a guy who did 25 years in the military as basically a project manager. I have a master's degree in finance. Nothing about me has anything to do with the medical profession. And Blair Cobb doesn't seem to know a damn thing about the medical profession. But it's easy to get out there on the internet and get spun up on a few articles to try to have a better understanding of things. So he obviously feels a kind of way about the rhabdo. I say myolysis, but he says rhabdomyolysis, right? So whatever, however you want to pronounce it. But I went out there and I took a look, right? And what I did realize is, look, man, rhabdomyolysis, that's how I'm going to pronounce it, right? Has been linked to numerous precipitants, including stimulants, toxins, metabolic derangements, primary muscle injury, trauma, infections, dehydration, and seizures. In the literature, antibiotic, androgenic steroids abuse has been linked to rhabdomyolysis and myositis, dating back to the early 1988. So I guess the question is, well, what does that mean? Well, I mean, from what I understand, I guess it's possible that there are if somebody was using PEDs, that this could be one of those side effects. Now, I'm trying to find where I was talking about that a little bit more, because see, man, that really that really made me feel a kind of way. Now, I'm going to tell you now, there's something I came across and read, and it talks about a 34-year-old bodybuilder who ended up in the emergency room. He had a fever, vomiting, muscle cramps that had started during a bodybuilding session. Now, several days before he started training, he had used tablets and intramuscular injections containing the anabolic steroids. Dihydrochloro methyltestosterone, boldenone, and trenbolone. Funky ass words, right? In addition, he had taken clenbuterol tablets, liothyronine tablets, and subcutaneous injections of phosphatidylcholine. Laboratory investigations revealed massive rhabdomyolysis. The patient was treated with intravenous fluid replacement and sodium bicarbonate to alkalinize the urine. He recovered quickly and his renal function remained unaffected. Doping among amateur athletes in the Netherlands occurs frequently and has also been found to happen on an international level. Apart from long-term side effects, doping can also cause acute health problems. Therefore, it's important to ask about doping use during history taken in amateur athletes and professional sports. Now, all I'm saying is this, right? When you start peeling the layers back, I think it's fair to have a healthy dialogue to really understand the disease. Now, my focus is really Virgil Ortiz getting better. But the fact that this happened twice, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I did a little bit of research today, man. You know, I'll do some more tomorrow. I didn't do a deep dive on this rhabdomyolysis, right? But I'll tell you this: I never heard of no damn athlete, succumbing to this. You know what I'm saying? I know what the other explanations of how this can surface in a fight, or just really working yourself, overworking. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be steroids. It could be that Virgil Ortiz works extremely hard. So when Blair Cobb comes in and puts a statement out like that, without really clarifying or providing any real context, he just really is trying to get you going. He's taking you down a path or a rabbit hole, and he's going to lead you to where he wants you. But to me, if we're going to have a discussion, let's be fair about it. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, there's absolutely no proof of Virgil Ortiz taking any kind of anabolic steroid, any kind of PED, or doing any kind of doping. But there's a whole lot of proof of Virgil Ortiz working extremely hard, pushing himself extremely hard. Okay? And the article that I talked about earlier, which I covered in that video about Virgil Ortiz and this rhabdomyolysis, right? Talked about different athletes at the college level and different sports where their coaches, their strength and conditioning guys, pushed them too hard, and they all ended up succumbing to rhabdomyolysis and had to go in and be treated. Some had to have dialysis, right? Because it messes with you, it releases, without getting all technical, it just releases something into your blood that prevents your kidney from filtering, right? And that's problematic. So is Blair Cobb right with what he's saying? Yes, but he left some things out, and that's what I think is not cool. But I'll tell you what, time will tell what the real deal is. But as of right now, Virgil Ortiz is just a young guy who has a dad who loves him, wants the best for him, and is pushing him hard. And Virgil Ortiz has a very high commitment level, and he's pushing himself hard because he wants to be standing units. He knows what he's up against, and he knows if he wins that fight, he knows what's next for him. It's not just a title. I mean, it's the title, it's the money, it's legacy. You know what I'm saying? This is their profession. He wants to be the best at it. But man, I'm telling you right now, to know that that's life-threatening. You know what I'm saying? Now, if there's some kind of foul play, I mean, well, when it comes out, we'll address it. But right now, there's not. But what I will say is, for a guy like Blair Cobb, who just had someone serve him a cease and desist letter or some kind of a correspondence, legal correspondence that forced him to come out here and apologize for what he said. I mean, they basically took that and shoved it deep up in his ass. He didn't learn his lesson. He's still out here playing with fire. So, I'm going to tell you right now, everyone knows on this channel that I like Blair Cobb. I'm always saying Blair Cobb is the future. He's the best pound for pound boxer. I'm always joking because I like Blair Cobb. But I'm going to tell you right now, man, I think this is kind of corny. I know he's mad because they humiliated him. You know what I'm saying? But he played himself. He did. You know what I mean? I mean, I talk a lot about different things, but I always say there's no proof. We're having a conversation. A lot of channels and a lot of people do that. That's normal to have a conversation. But for him to come out and just blatantly accuse somebody, I mean, he kind of got what he had coming to him, and he should have left it alone. So I really think that's kind of ballsy for him to come out here and put out a video talking about this again. Like, yo, my man, you got nipped the first time. You want to get bitten? You want a pound of flesh taken out of you? What is he doing? So that being said, let's not get caught up in the hype train about Virgil Ortiz possibly some foul play. I think he just works hard. And I'm going to be honest with you. I talked about my son who works hard. And he went out there to his, so he qualified, right? 2,400, right? Him and this kid, there was a bunch of, over the last 5 weeks, there's been a lot of competition. But anyway, he ran last week, 2,400. And I think, what was the time like 8:06 or something? But anyway, he was leading the pack. And like the last 100 yards, there was a guy, they were going neck and neck. The guy just, he just had a little more kick at the end. So he passed my son. My son came in second. So my son was kind of tired, but I'm going to tell you something, right? So my son practices, he's been going to soccer practice, going to track and basketball, right? And he didn't take any days off going to his track meet today. And he went out there, out the gate, man. He was out of it. That first 400, he was gone. I was like, yo, he was sprinting because me and him talking. I tell him, I used to run the, I think I was like, man, 30, up to age 33, I used to run a mile and a half in like 7 minutes and like, I don't know, man, like 740 to 750. Then as I got a little bit older, it got to like 8 minutes or something. Then it got to like 10, 11, you know what I'm saying? But that's when I was in the military. So I was telling him, I was like, running those hills really helped me with my win. So he went out there today and decided to push it. And he wasn't doing a full sprint, but he was like 3/4. He was out of there. Got through the first 400, came around the second lap. He was still killing the pack. He was out of there. And everyone in the crowd is like kind of cheering him on, and people are gasping like, wow, that kid can run. And then I saw him reach for his right leg and kind of grab at his knee, and then he started hobbling. And I just kind of watched, because I'm cool as a fan. I've dealt with so much crap. The sky's not falling to me. I know when to react like the sky's falling. If you pull the muscle, you pull the muscle. We'll get through it. So he's going around the track and he's kind of reaching at his knee. A couple guys pass him. So anyway, he gets a mile in, and now it's obvious something's wrong with him. But he doesn't have quit in him. He came around about he finished the first mile and about half. He does like another 200, and then he exits the track and he kind of rolls around on the ground, grabbing his leg. And people are watching me because they know that's my son, and I'm there with two of my other two boys, and I'm just watching because I can see he's okay. You know what I'm saying? He just probably pulled something. But anyway, man, I go over there after a while. They put him on the little golf cart, take him over to by the doctors and everything. So I go check on him. And in the car, I asked him, I said, look, my man, was it that you took off too fast and got tired and just didn't want to be embarrassed? Because you were leading the pack, but you started to get fatigued and you didn't want to come in, fourth, fifth place or even last. He was like, nah. He was like, man, my leg. So I started watching him. You know your kids, but he wasn't faking. He was hurt. But it's funny that happened today because just did the video about it and talked about my son who works hard and not wanting to push him too much, and he pushed himself and ended up definitely not with this rhabdo, but he ended up getting a little injury. So he came home, took a shower, ate some food, relaxing, ice and heat alternating it, man, and he's straight. But I can tell you this, man. If you see stuff happen like that at the level of junior high kids, where they're pushing themselves like my son does, he's not the only one. But I tell you what, man, I could only imagine what these guys who are professional boxers, especially if they're young and their bodies still feel good, how they're pushing themselves. You know what I'm saying? It's just, we just have to figure out a smarter way, because how is it that my boy Mills, right? He pointed something out. We always try to peel the layers back. And my thing is, how is it that Virgil Ortiz ends up with this crap, and all these other athletes are training and getting in shape and pushing themselves super hard, and they don't have any problems? So it makes you wonder a couple things. Is it because Virgil Ortiz is the only clean athlete? Well, he's a clean athlete, and he's the type of problems that he's having, other athletes should be having it too, but they're not clean. That's why they can push through it. Or is it that, maybe there's something more going on over there with Virgil Ortiz that we're unaware of? You know what I mean? So it depends on the lens you want to put on to kind of look at the situation surrounding him. But what I will say, there's no foul play suspected of Virgil Ortiz. If there is, it will surface. But what Blair Cobb said was not wrong, but there's a lot more to it, and I think he intentionally led people down a rabbit hole to get the conversation going and get the controversy and the drama started. But I want to come and clear all that up. There are numerous causes for rhabdomyolysis, not solely anybody using any kind of performance enhancement drug or steroids, right? So just want to go ahead and drop the hold your horses. Don't take it to the stupid. What's that called when people are they want to have what's that called when people have movement? Yeah, the hold your horses. Don't take it to the stupid movement on what Blair Cobb was trying to do with his comments. Not cool at all. But he wasn't wrong. He just intentionally left some stuff up, which isn't cool. Or maybe he didn't intentionally leave anything off. He just doesn't know much about that disease. But that being said, y'all keep cool. Shout out to the veterans, all 7 continents. Let's hope Virgil Ortiz gets his stuff together, can get in the ring, continue with his career. And let's hope old Blair Cobb doesn't end up in front of Instagram, in front of his camera on Instagram, apologizing again for somebody coming with some legal correspondence. This time they may ball it up and make it all kind of crinkly with little sharp points on it before they push it up his ass and tell him to stop talking. That being said, y'all keep cool. You know what I mean.